And through time, and using the reach, we understood that it was capable of a lot of things, and probably a lot of things that we still yet to discover. And one of those unique features is creating remote anchors, whether you're using the device to clip to another line, piece of webbing, maybe a perimeter line on a boat, or a pre-fabricated anchor along the shore, where the clipping action of the reach actually does come into play, giving a secure clip that does not release. And the other aspect of that is using the device as a whole unit as a piece of protection that will chalk between the rocks, cracks, Y-shaped openings, narrow closures, and that particular connection there is against the robust body of the reach, as it forms essentially like a piece of rock climbing gear, a nut that's snagged inside to a natural point on the river that we identify, that we know about before we do it. So there's a number of different situations that come about when we decide to use the reach this way. And one of them that comes to mind is really access to a particular site. Many rivers have changing environment along the shore. Some are in canyons as well. So many of those options are based on the structure, the natural geologic matter that you have inside the river in order to work with. So if we figure about it, connecting the reach to the end of the line and then tossing it out, throwing it out to a particular spot where we want it to lodge in, we want it to trap inside there, we could create a conditional anchor, test it in many angles, and then use that with the advantage of the current to pendulum across the river. And pendulum's a well-known rescue technique, using the current to your advantage inside the river in order to exit that current and arrive at the bank of the river, at the shoreline, or even inside an eddy midstream, mid-river, where you can take a break, you can get your senses back to you and stabilize in a spot. We think a lot about remote anchoring that way also with respect to first crossers, people that work on emergency services, search and rescue organizations, volunteers as well, firefighters out there, military services that need to cross over to the other side of rivers, risking the life of that first crosser out there in the current with limited safety and limited coverage in case he gets swept away by the current. So the reach really is what does that for you. The reach is thrown out across the current that you need to cross, the other side of the river to the far bank, or into the center of the river where you need to cross. You need to establish that access, and it makes that first crossing for you. Once you've got that anchor lodged in, then you have a fixed line to work with, and we can develop a lot of our known, accepted technical rescue systems utilizing that first passage, utilizing that first pass to keep people safe and out of the water. You know, it's incredible how it really eliminates the need for line swims. Take just some basic calculations with you about the length of how far you can throw the reach. It's 60 feet, 70 feet, depending on the lines that you're using, your angle and where you're throwing along the shoreline. Combine that with another throw bag, another line thrown from another side. If you have that option, you know, you're reaching up to 140, 150 feet of crossing, and it's just a tremendous advantage for all of us to have this with us. Many people in the whitewater industry as well notice that the reach enables them to provide a high level of quality service during an event that might be quite common in whitewater rafting, recreational, river running, people stranded on a rock, around the boat, flipping recovery where guide and crew are separated from the craft. These type of things happen pretty frequently, and generally we use traditional techniques to recover our equipment, recover our boats, and even evacuate passengers from midstream rocks or midstream islands over to shore. Now, thinking about the way we've been doing it for so long, the reach enables you to avoid that nasty swim. It enables you to establish that access that you so direly need in order to solve the problem that you're facing out there in the river. And we're working with a lot of different angles and different film settings for you to kind of get accustomed to how we work with it, so that you can learn with it also.
Yeah.